thank you for responding to our asking. And I want to thank Jerry and Esther for sharing this with us. And I want to thank everybody here today for being a part of my experience and manifesting this with me.
We're all in this together. Yep.
So I try to think up questions that I've not heard on any of the record. First of all, I wanted to say an observation that I had is that when I come to the events, that they're so much more powerful than the recordings that I download and listen to. So,
well, there's more intentionality on your part, more expectation, more probable alignment, less distraction that keeps you from hearing. In other words, there are reasons for that, but not one of you needs to be here to get this. Yeah.
So I try to come up with questions that I've not heard anybody else ask, and my first question is there any lovers from my vortex here with us today?
4.
Yes. Don't be shy. The other day I was listening to a recording of one of our past conversations, and it wasn't exactly the way that I remembered it. So
never is. Your ability to hear us continues to improve. Do you know that everything you hear and everything you think about what everybody else thinks is distorted to some degree because it's muted or hindered by beliefs that are in the way? So as time goes by and you allow more of who you really are to be dominant and present, then you hear more. When we offer a conversation like this, we're speaking to not just those here in this room, but everyone we know who will hear at a level that they can all hear something. That's a common letter that Esther receives. In the night, Abraham snuck in and put more on the recording that I'd already heard.
When I was meditating the other day, this question popped into my mind, and it had to do with memories. And I thought about if my memory's different than what was actually on the recording.
Maybe your memory was different, but your perception, it's your perception, it's how you feel about it. It's like our friend was saying earlier, he's more aware of feelings even than he is about thoughts. And the things that you think you are remembering or that you are remembering are more about what you're thinking. But there is a vibrational core essence that is the basis of what you hear. So when someone says, I have some questions for you, Abraham, and they are unrelated to each other, we want to say, no, they're not. Because your questions can't be unrelated to each other because they are all or both coming directly from you, and your perception is what it is, and all of your questions are colored by your perception.
Well, the thing that came to my mind was in a previous conversation and with conversations you had with other people, you said that your brain is not a storage cabinet.
It isn't.
For memories.
It isn't. It's a transmitting and receiving mechanism. And depending upon what thoughts you've chosen and what vibrational frequency you have isolated and practiced, then you adjust your receiver to thoughts or vibrations that are like that. And then you hear different programming. You hear different things, which is the answer to what you just said to us.
So memories are just thoughts, but how do they serve me? Because I have a tendency to look back.
What serves you is now, because now reflects what you've got going on vibrationally. So the now is reflecting back to you through your emotions what you've got going on vibrationally in relationship to what you've asked for and what your inner being's got going on vibrationally. So the only memories that would serve you at all would be those satisfying memories that help you to set your tone now. Those could serve you, but there's so much satisfying that is available to you now. You know what the biggest difference, someone asked the question just a moment ago about what it's like to croak and what non-physical is like. The biggest difference, the most significant difference, the difference that right now in this red hot moment we want to call your attention to between you and your inner being is that your inner being never looks back. So when you do, you always introduce some resistance to the equation, because your inner being is always looking forward to what's becoming. And when you look back, there is some slight resistance. And that's why you call it nostalgia. That's why you call it homesick. That's why you call it whatever it is, but that's why. These aren't not new questions yet.
I haven't listened to all the recordings. All right, so I never really paid attention to politics until about 10 years ago. And
Stop it.
well, I agree.
All it is streams of consciousness that are pitted against each other as an excuse to pinch each other off from the clarity and well-being that would be there if they weren't doing that. And there is nothing about politics that has anything to do with you or what will happen to you. You can use it as a reason to not allow yourself to be aligned, but that's its only real use, to pinch you off.
Yeah. I realize that, the world is a reflection of what I have going on inside me.
The world is a reflection of what everyone has going on, and there are a lot of things going on. In other words, it's not only your reflection. The world is the things that have come from the thoughts that the world has thought, but you didn't think all the thoughts.
Well, the thing that caught my attention is I've been observing people in how they pay attention to politics and politicians, and it seems to me that a lot of people they'll go by what the politician says, but totally disregard what the politician does, which is often completely different.
When you ask about the value of politics, let's focus there just for a moment. If it has done anything for you as a mass consciousness, we're talking globally, not just nationally. If it has done anything for you as a mass consciousness, it must surely help you to know this one powerful thing. You can't sort it out. You can't even begin to know what is really going on. Esther's phrase is, the words don't match the music. The lyrics don't match the music, which is sort of a little bit what you're talking about. But, talk about a rat's nest of vibrations that just has the potential of holding you apart from everything that you've been asking for. And what's so interesting, this is another thing that it'll do for you. Oh, we want you to hear this. People think that they can think their way out of things. But all they do is think their way deeper and deeper into things. You got to feel your way out. And so, it's a lot of rabbit holes that a lot of people are going down. The rabbit holes just get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And they keep thinking they're going to find satisfaction in there, but they don't.
The thing that it occurred to me was that I'd look at them and I'd say, their thoughts and their words and their actions don't
are
match
none of
up.
my business.
Well,
that's the thing that you should say. They're not any of my business, because you're assuming that they're thinking and they're acting in order to get your approval. That's what you'd like, but that's not working out well for you. So what you're saying is, there are those that think this and there are those that think that, and I want to choose those that think that. Okay, got my party picked. I picked my affiliation, but now they were saying these things which I resonated with, but now they're not doing those things. So you've found yet another reason to feel dissatisfied, because you're looking for love on all the wrong places. You're looking for satisfaction in all the wrong places. Are you following us at all?
Oh, absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. But the thing that it also pointed out to me is that I feel like my thoughts, my words, and my actions don't all line up. And I wonder if that's the reason why I don't manifest things the way that I wish that I would.
For sure. It's true of everyone. But you see, can you let your thoughts be an evolving thing? And can you let what you believed at one time, which served you, be something that you don't believe at this time? In other words, can you be the evolving being that you are? Can life experience give you new asking?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how you talk about satisfaction a lot. I don't always feel that way, and I'd really like to.
You don't usually feel that way. And most people don't. We're not singling you out. Most people do not usually feel satisfied.
I'm always trying to figure out how to fix what's wrong. It's just not working.
Those step one moments help. In other words, looking for a solution, trying to solve a problem, that's a wonderful thing. That's step one. Just don't make a lifetime career out of that.
Seems like all I got going.
What happens with so many, let's talk just for a moment, and let's not go too much further into politics, just because it's sort of...
It was just an example.
Well, we're going to follow your example down the rabbit hole just a little bit. We just want to say this to you. Let's say that you are listening to someone who is speaking something that resonates with you. And let's say that that particular person has a particular platform and a particular affiliation that maybe you also resonate with. And then let's say that there is another who is speaking differently than that. And so you begin to do, or you continue to do, what most people do about things that were thoughts that have turned to things. In other words, most humans are really interested in sorting out the manifestations. And so they want to call things Republican or Democrat, or they want to call them prosperous or not prosperous. They want to call them right or wrong. They want to put them in those camps so that they can support them and defend them or rail against them and resist them. In other words, it's a sort of natural function of your sifting and sorting process. But what we would like to call your attention to is that really in all of this gathering together in groups, no matter what labels you give it, whether it's a political label or a religious label or any other kind of label, there are so many labels and groups and ways that humans want to pigeonhole and catalog things. We would like you to consider just for a little while that there are really only two groups. There are really only two affiliations, alignment or not. And almost everyone in the political world is in the not alignment part. And so as you join any part of any of that and you try to find satisfaction in that, it's unlikely that you will find much satisfaction in what already exists, because these groups that you are wanting their words to match their music, so to speak, it's not where satisfaction is supposed to come to you. So let something that you see from wherever you see it help you give birth to something else that you want, and then you line up with that. There's plenty of subjects where you can find plenty that you want. And that's really what evolution of your planet is all about. It's what evolution of the universe is all about. But just decide that you're going to join as much as you can the group that is satisfied, which means you're going to join the group that is under the influence of who you really are and what you really want. And that you're going to join the group of enlightenment and upliftment and refreshment and replenishment. Just make your own decision by virtue of the way it feels to you. And after a little while, you'll find benefit in all the groups. You'll find wisdom everywhere. Can you imagine what it would be like if you as an individual or any collective body of any of you, the electorate, or even those that don't actually cast their votes with ballots but that cast them vibrationally, can you imagine how wonderful it might be if you could look at the body of people who represent you and understand the collective wisdom that their life experience has gathered together, and you could actually feel appreciation for their collective or individual wisdom and not need them to stand in a certain camp before you'd even be willing to listen to their wisdom? There's so much wisdom that is potentially there that people don't allow themselves to hear because they think they're standing in the wrong camp. When the only camp that we want you to be aware of is there's me in the camp of my full enlightenment or me in the camp of pinching myself off. And when you're pinched off, you don't like anybody. When you're pinched off, you can't see the value in anything. And when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then you hear the value in this religion and that one. You hear the true meaning of what that meant and what that meant. You hear the wisdom coming from that person and that person. You see it in the hallways of the hotel where you are. You hear the wisdom from the cab driver when you're moving around New York City. In other words, it's all around you. There are all kinds of people with all kinds of wisdom that your inner being is queuing you up to rendezvous with. And if you just get over needing people to agree with you in order for you to feel good, and instead you decide you're going to feel good, then you find agreement with all kinds of people.